Hey, 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 or should I say, ho, ho, ho. It's that time again where I read you yet another Christmas story. This one's called A Christmas Carol. Scrooge was a mean old miser who didn't care for anyone or anything except his money. He disliked everything. Most of all, he hated Christmas. When someone would wish him a Merry Christmas, he would grumble, "Bah, humbug!" Poor Bob Crackit was working late for Scrooge again. He was very much wanted to go to his home to be with his family. After all, it was Christmas Eve. Finally, old Scrooge allowed Crackit to leave. "Would you like to spend Christmas with my family?" he asked Scrooge. "Nonsense! Christmas? Bah, humbug! Now leave me alone. I have work to do," Scrooge answered. Late that night, Mr. Scrooge went home to his dark house. As he got to his door, the knocker appeared to turn into the face of his partner, Jacob Marley, who had died years ago. Frightened, Scrooge hurried inside and went straight to his bedroom. He changed into his nightshirt and crawled into bed. Excuse me, guys. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" a voice cried out into the dark room. Suddenly a ghost appeared, covered in locks and chains. "Marley, why do you haunt me?" said Scrooge, shaking with fright. "To save you from yourself, Ebenezer," the ghost cried. "Tonight you'll be visited by 3 spirits, who will show you the true meaning of Christmas." "Ghosts and spirits indeed," growled Scrooge as he drifted off to sleep. As the clock struck 1 o'clock, the first of the 3 spirits appeared. "Ebenezer Scrooge," a voice called. "I am the ghost of Christmas past," said the spirit. "Come with me." "Where are we?" asked Scrooge. "Have you forgotten your childhood, Ebenezer?" asked the spirit. "Why, this is my old schoolhouse," Scrooge said with surprise. "Yes, Ebenezer, that little child sitting alone is you. Many a Christmas you spent alone without friends or family," said the spirit. "Money became your only joy and love." Scrooge saw himself as a young man again. Beside him was a woman, Belle. "I had almost forgotten how beautiful she was," Scrooge sighed. "You were to marry her, remember?" asked the spirit. "But gold was more important to you." "No, spirit, take me away. Forgive me, Belle!" cried Scrooge. When Scrooge looked up, he was back in his room and the spirit was gone. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" called a voice. "Come closer!" the spirit roared. "I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come with me. You have a great deal to learn tonight." "Whose little house is that?" asked Scrooge. "This is the house of your clerk, Bob Cratchit," answered the spirit. The spirit pointed to the door. In the doorway was Bob with his son, Tiny Tim, high up on his shoulder. "Merry Christmas!" Bob called to his family as he hugged his wife. "And how's our Tiny Tim?" asked Bob. "I believe he's getting stronger every day." "Of course he is," Miss Cratchit said, holding back a tear as Tiny Tim hobbled to his stool. "I didn't know the child was sick," said Scrooge. "Would you have cared, Ebenezer?" asked the spirit. "Spirit," said Scrooge, "tell me, will Tiny Tim live? I see an empty stool and a crutch in the corner. If these shadows remain unchanged, the child will die." "No, spirit," Scrooge begged, "don't let the boy die. It is not by my kindness that he will live, but by yours, Ebenezer. If you truly care, come now," said the spirit. Scrooge traveled with the spirit to see many families, both rich and poor. to see the love and joy of the Christmas spirit that night. "Before you leave, tell me, Spirit, what is it that I see moving beneath your robe?" asked Scrooge. The spirit opened his robe, and clinging to his legs were two small children, a small ragged boy and a forlorn little girl. "Are they yours, Spirit?" asked Scrooge. "This boy is Ignorance. The girl is Want. Beware them both," the spirit said sadly, then disappeared. Scrooge stood shivering in the new-fallen snow. He turned to find himself before a dark and gloomy spirit. "Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" asked Scrooge. The spirit said nothing, but nodded in reply. The spirit fixed his eyes upon Scrooge, then pointed a bony finger towards the mist. "Lead on, Spirit," moaned Scrooge. The spirit said nothing. Scrooge then saw what he dreaded most, the empty stool and the little crutch of Tiny Tim. "No, Spirit, no!" Scrooge cried out. "Tell me it isn't so." Scrooge began to weep. As he raised his head, he found he was in a graveyard. The spirit was pointing to a tombstone. Scrooge drew close to the grave. There on the headstone was his name, Ebenezer Scrooge. "No, Spirit, I'll be a better man, please. No, no, no." Scrooge suddenly awoke on Christmas morning to find himself back in his own bed. The spirits had done their work, and one night, excitingly, Scrooge ran to the window and threw open the shutters. "Merry Christmas!" shouted Scrooge. Then as he spotted a passing boy, he called out, "Boy, hurry! Go down the street and buy that big turkey that hangs in the butcher shop and take it to Bob Crackett's house." He tossed a large bag of gold coins down to the boy. "Friends are worth more than all the gold in the world," said Scrooge. From then on, he made sure Bob Crackett and his family had all the good food and warm clothing they needed. After that night, Scrooge became a better man and kept the spirit of Christmas alive. And that is the end, you guys. If you want to go to your local library and check this out, it's called The Christmas Carol. The original is by Charles Dickens, and this is a children's version of the actual story. But if you want to check it out, go ahead to your local library, or you can buy it on Amazon or eBay or any store you want, or your local bookstore. And that is it for me, you guys. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, go ahead and do a thumbs up, and I will keep reading more books. And if not, that's okay too. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah! Bye, you guys.